What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're gonna have a little fun. We've been doing a lot of strategy videos, kind of breaking down teams, everything. We're gonna have some fun for today. It's a Monday, you know, the week's starting off, everybody's miserable. You know what? Let's have some fun today. Today, we're going to talk about the worst characters in Galaxy of Heroes. These characters, every time I look at them, I just get a little bit sad. I just get a little sad and I just wonder, you know, why are you here? Why are you the way that you are? And, well, we're just going to talk about these characters, talk about why these characters are so bad, what we could see with these characters in the future, maybe something to help kind of make them better. We're going to break that all down in today's video. If you guys have a good time watching this video, make sure that like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, comment down below. Let me know if I missed someone, if you agree, maybe you disagree. I know some people are going to say, hey, R9 Cup is actually pretty good. You guys are crazy, but that is okay. I still love you anyways. We're going to break this all down in today's video. So let's start from the top and let's talk the Jedi Vanguard, the really, really bad Jedi Vanguard. Jedi Knight Guardian, Jedi Consular, and I'm a Gundai. Now, Jedi Knight Guardian and Jedi Consular, I totally understand why they're not great. They're generic characters. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we're not going to use these characters. And then you get a Jedi Knight Guardian that you have to face in some type of event. Like, I went to the Lord Vader event for the, what's the Galactic Legend token thing? I totally forget what it's called now. I'm forgetting. I'm just blanking because I just see how terrible this character is. But then you fight two Jedi Knight Guardians in that fight against Jedi Master Kenobi. And hey, why are those Guardians so good? Because they just have better stats. But there's so much here that could be good. The ability block on her AoE, the fact that she gets that extra health, that bonus tenacity, recovering health at the start of each of her turns. She could be a good tank if she had a taunt. She doesn't have a taunt. Why does she not have a taunt? Why does this tank not have a taunt? At least Mace Windu got something where he is able to taunt for at least a little bit with his unique and his rework, but we never got that with Jedi Knight Guardian. Jedi Consular also has some good stuff in here. Healing, gaining turn meter, recovering health, having the ability to ignore armor. Like, this is good stuff, you know, reducing cooldowns. It's good stuff there, but again, because he's a generic character, not so great stats, you kind of leave him in the dust pretty quickly. There's just better Jedi. And then we get to this guy. And I don't know what's going on with this guy. And you're probably wondering, why do I have him at Relic 5? Because I said, you know what, screw it, let's gamble on this Jedi Vanguard bundle, and let's see if he gets a rework with Master Mace Windu. I doubt he is, but you know what, we never know. No, I don't have a gambling problem. No, I don't need to call a hotline. Anyways, I'm a Gundai. Oh god, this video is going off the rails really quickly. I may be going schizophrenic with this. Anyways, I'm a Gundai. So this guy is by far the worst of the Jedi Vanguard in the game. Excluding, you know, Jedi Knight Guardian and Jedi Consular, but, you know, we already talked about those. Everybody else here at least has something going for them, even if it's not that great. Ekoth, terrible character, but you get to use him in the Battle for Naboo raid. Aayla Secura, Plo Koon has a ship. Really good ship for the Galactic Republic fleet. Kit Fisto, not great, but he's vital to one of your raid teams for the Battle for Naboo. Barriss Offee, another Jedi Vanguard that hasn't been in one of the Lightspeed bundles yet, but she is great. She has a fantastic Zeta, you can throw her in on teams. Luminara, not so great, but again, Battle for Naboo. And yeah, everybody else here inside the Jedi Vanguard faction, except for those three, just don't have uses. I'm a Gundai. Really, really bad, could really use a rework. Maybe he gets thrown in with the Jedi Vanguard team with Master Mace Windu. We know we've got Mace, we've got Depa and Temple Guardian, and we've got Jocasta Nu, and that's 4. We need a 5th, and hopefully they do something to I'm a Gundai to make him that 5th. Otherwise, we're bringing characters like Shaak Ti and Keller and Beck, who are perfectly fine, but you know, I'm a Gundai needs something. He's got to have a time to shine, and we just have not gotten that yet. Let's talk about the useless rebels. Now, I know a couple of these, we have relics on them because we're using them for different things. In fact, I'm pretty sure I got Farm Boy Luke at Relic 3 because of a Lightspeed bundle. I think one of the Lightspeed bundles took him to Relic 3. And yeah, I've never used him since then. Lobot, the only reason he's at Relics is because you need him for Galactic Legend Leia. You gotta use him up to Relic 3 just to be able to get her, just be able to unlock her. And you never use Lobot. In fact, Lobot just doesn't even have a droid tag, which, you know, it feels a little weird. But I mean, when you have Chewbacca and 3PO with Chewbacca with a 3PO strapped on his back, and he's a droid, why can't we give droid to Lobot? I mean, Lobot's got the freaking cybernetic implants on his head. Come on. Come on, what are we doing here? But even then, yeah, like he's got this droid synergy here, you know. Oh, but see, he does get the droid tag for the rest of the battle if the leader is a light side droid, but, you know, just give him the droid tag. That's all we gotta do. Just give him the droid tag. Why does he not have the droid tag? He gets some nice synergy with droid allies, but your light side droids aren't a great team anyways. You have Shorty, but I mean, what are we doing here? But yeah, Lobot, not so great. Farm Boy Luke really falls off, though I will say back during the tank raid, he was pretty cool to use in the Wampinator team. And if you don't know what that was a Darth Vader lead with Wampa, and you would bring in a Tusken as well, and you build up those damage over time effects. Farm Boy Luke was great for this too because he would give damage over time effects. Lord Vader's lead would cause those dots to just never expire. Wampa would go off. Farm Boy Luke was just constantly feeding the damage over time effects to the team. It was a good time. Like, they worked really, really well. And that was about the only time you got to use Farm Boy Luke, really. That was the only time you really had to use for him. And then Bodhi Rook. We got a Rebel fighter here. He's a pilot. Like, that's the whole point of him. He was a pilot, and he's not a pilot in the game. He's got no ship. He literally just kind of sits on the ship for the entire Battle of Scarif. Does he? I don't think he ever leaves the ship in the battle. And he just sits there. And, you know, I guess it's pretty lore accurate because he just sits there and does nothing in the game. So we've got a Datacron for him at least right now with Saw Gerrera that looks good. But, again, we're never really using Bodhi. And there's another character that just kind of sits there and it just sucks. Hoth Rebel Soldier, generic soldier, but at least Hoth Rebel Scout, the other generic Hoth soldier, is used in the Mon Mothma Rebel Fighter team, dries up the turn meter. What are you doing with Hoth Rebel Soldier, really? You know, he's getting defense up, he's recovering max health. He's really there to kind of help give some anti-Empire synergy with his kit a little bit, especially here in his unique, but his basics, possibly inflicting offense down unless it's a critical hit. Hold the line, give some defense up, and then has a chance to gain health up for 3 turns. Like, this is, you could tell this is where we were back in the day, back before we got power creep. There was, oh, well, there's a chance to give a buff for this character, or there's a chance to apply a debuff. And these characters have just been left behind because we don't really want that. We want guaranteed chances of giving buffs to our team, of getting health increased to our team. We're way beyond that. So that's kind of where we're at here. Some rebels that just are not good. And then we get to the Jawas. The poor Jawas. You take Jawa up to Relic 3 for Jabba the Hutt, and then, yeah, they sit there. Now, they did have a use inside of the tank raid. They were okay inside the tank raid. One of the things I love to do is take Jawa Scavenger into a clone trooper team into the tank raid in Phase 2, because he was able to inflict some debuffs, he was able to kind of call assists, and he was able to kind of get the team a little bit better with clones. He was able to do something better with them, and, you know, that was cool and all, and that was about the only time I ever used Jawas. You get the occasional galactic challenge, but nobody's throwing relics on Jawas for that. In fact, no, we do have a Jawa Lightspeed bundle, we do. And I've never touched it because I just know I've never used it. Unlike the Tuskens, who have, like, at least Tuskens have a Grand Arena Omicron, they've got some viability. What are you doing with your Jawas, really? I'm sure someone out there is gonna find some crazy use for Jawas, but yeah, they're just so bad. And then finally, we've got Ugnaught and Coruscant Underworld Police. Now, I will say, it was a great idea for CG to throw an R9 cup for $5 as a Lightspeed bundle on for April Fools. That was fantastic. They made some good money on that. I mean, they made easy 5 figures of money on that Lightspeed bundle. A lot of people bought it. It was a fantastic one. It's hilarious. And I said, you know what? Never gonna use him, but you know, I appreciate it. I think it's hilarious. Here, have my $5. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this guy. I know we got a Datacron for him, what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? And it was actually terrifying using Cup at that time inside of Galactic Republic team. He was a little terrifying with that thing. He was a scary little demon with that Datacron, and that was hilarious. And it was like, okay, cool, maybe we can work some of that into his kit. and we just never got it. We got this non-lethal takedown, which pretty much, that's a pretty good, or pretty apt description for this character in general, non-lethal. Because, yeah, non-lethal crowd control, non-lethal specialist. I mean, when the guy's kit's all about non-lethal, you know he's not going to be that great, and probably not someone you're going to use a lot, and unfortunately, that's just him. And then we have Ugnaught. Oh, Ugnaught. So, another character that had bonuses for the tank raid, and even with those bonuses for the tank raid, was still so bad. Jawas at least had something going for them. The bonuses for Ugnaught, I can't remember what they were. Jawas I knew could call assists. Ugnaught was something awful, and it was still so bad that you just did not use him. No one used Ugnaught in the one game mode he was featured in. That's just how bad he was. I don't even remember what this guy's kit is. Yeah, okay, more damage to droids. Yeah, anti-droid synergy. Cool. But still, his stats are so bad, you're never going to use him against the one droid team that you're going to run into, which is General Grievous. His stats are just terrible. Unless you're throwing high relics onto him, I don't even know if you want to do that. We're not even going to go down. That's a dark path to go down. Yeah, that's just a... Oh man, I'm trying to think who else. Are there other characters I'm not thinking of? If I go and look at my least power characters, is there anybody else I'm missing here? Bodhi, Stap has uses. You know, I'm not working on Imperial Remnants. I will at some point. IG-86, you know? Yeah, this was another one where if we didn't have a full Separatist team for General Grievous, him being a dark side droid could be something there. Imperial Probe Droid. Well, at least you have missions that you use him for inside of the Hoth territory battle on the Imperial side. So there are uses for him. Yeah, at least you got something going for him there. So I would say, yeah, not the best, but you know, I do remember back in the day he was kind of good, wasn't he? Especially because of his self-destruct ability. You could use that to just wipe out somebody. You know, I do remember this guy being somewhat solid back in the day when we first got him. Zor we know is good. Young Lando is another one, but we have the prepared team, which... Now, even then, I don't think you have, but you do have Lando's ship, so you do have a use for him. Clone Wars Chewbacca, you've got the Wookiee team at least for Rise of the Empire territory battle, so you've got something going for him there. But still, not a great character overall. I know he's got a Zeta, right? Yeah, he's got a Zeta, at least one Zeta. So that could be another one. We got Magma Trooper. We got the scraps of Imperial Troopers, and I know who I don't use for Imperial Troopers. I have them in Gear 12, except for Iden. Iden, I'll get the Lightspeed bundle for Iden just to take her up to relics. But yeah, Snow Trooper, Stormtrooper, Magna Trooper, just not well often used Imperial Troopers. I'm trying to think, what else is there? Is there anybody else I'm missing on this? Acolytes got uses with the new Night Sister team, K2SO. Yeah, I think everybody else here that I don't have geared up, at least there's something for them. T3M4 with Shorty, at least you have that light side droid team, maybe? Not that great, but man, I don't know, that could be another bad one. Though, I mean, I'm sure there's uses for her inside of a droid team somewhere. I don't think I've got anybody else here that I would say is necessarily a bad character. Those, I think, are by far the worst of the characters here. And I would love to know from you guys, is there anybody I missed here? Is there someone who shouldn't be on this list? Let me know down below. As always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure that like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time.